We're in Kolkata, India, and today's video is going to be all about some crazy good street food.
We are going to be zipping all around town to find you the best food this city has to offer.
Kolkata is a feast for the senses. Hit the streets and you'll be met with colour, noise and delicious smells. This is our second video from Kolkata and we're eating some of the city's tastiest eats. We head out of the city to find a legendary Kolkata biryani that has a cult following. Watch out for glistening rice, tender mutton and a secret ingredient that sets this dish apart. We indulge in two popular Bengali sweets from shops that are over 100 years old and hunt down the city's most famous street food, the kati roll. In this India series, we'll show you some of the country's most delicious food, from heritage recipes to iconic street food. You don't want to miss this series. Get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat.
I'm so excited for this day of eating that we have ahead of us. So Thomas and I are always wanting to show you the best local food on this channel, and sometimes if that means that we have to travel way outside of the city centres to do so, that's what we do. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. So you can probably tell that I'm on a train. We're heading an hour outside of central Kolkata to find what we've heard is a really delicious local favourite, a biryani spot. We've arrived at our destination and it's actually this restaurant right here, the biryani restaurant, which has got a huge crowd of people in front of it. So biryani is a rice and meat dish, and it's actually, check out this cooking vessel, cooked in these big biryani pots over fire. And oh, there's one which is just open up here. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Wow, oh the smell. So this is the chicken biryani. You can see the pieces of chicken in there. There's rice, it's glistening and the rice is so beautiful and oily looking. It's very fragrant and I can see potatoes in there as well. Wow, there's a big pot of pickles up the back too. I think we should go and eat, go and order.
This place is absolutely going off. The crowd of people lined up for their biryani. You've got heaps of traffic rolling by. But something I've noticed that I really like is because these tubs are so big and so heavy when they're full of rice, they need these poles because they need 4 guys to pick them up. So they use these bamboo poles to lug them up and get them up onto the serving trays. It is a crazy good environment and the smell in the air is incredible from the amount of spice that they've got in those big tubs of biryani.
Wow, check out this steaming pile of biryani that has just arrived on our table. It is so fragrant and you can see that the rice is just glistening with the oil from the meat and it's stained from all of the spices that have been added to it. Now I'm going to just push it aside and see if I can show you the mutton. So the mutton, really big piece of it, and mutton is actually goat here in India. There's a big piece of that, it looks very tender. The pile of rice is steaming. And then what makes Kolkata biryani different to other biryanis around India is this spud, which is hiding underneath. Look at that, oh, it's hot as anything. And then to go with the biryani, we've also got some chutney. There's a little bit of raw red onion and also some, not pickled maybe, just fresh cucumber. And this will add some freshness and sort of cut through the richness of the biryani. All right, I've got to shut the hell up and actually just start eating because the smell of this biryani is just absolutely intoxicating. So I've got a bit of that mutton and then also the rice. Holy moly, that is amazing. A real burst of cardamom. So you can really taste the spice in there. It's a little bit spicy from chili heat, but the overwhelming flavour was from the cardamom. That goat is just melt in your mouth. This is out of this world. The rice is so loose and light. It's got a great chew to it, and that meat is insane. So the rice is really, really imbued with the flavor of the spices, and it's just glistening with the fat from the meat. So the reason for that is because when they cook the biryani, it's cooked dum style. So they put all of the ingredients into that big pot, and then they seal the lid on that pot, and then it's cooked over the fire. So all of the juices from the meat, all of the spices, they really just sort of meld together while it's all cooking. And all of the flavors stay infused into the resulting dish. This is insane. I've got to break open this potato. Ouch. Ouch, wow, that is hot. So hot. Okay, so I've got a bit of that potato, and then I might get some of this cucumber and sort of freshen that mouthful up. All right. Very creamy potato, and it's got a lot of flavor. So the reason why Kolkata biryanis are different to the rest of biryanis which are around India is because they have this potato, and that's not really common with other types of biryanis. And the reason that they have this potato is because back in the day when meat was a little bit expensive, they wanted to bulk out the dish, and they used potato, and that tradition has continued. Oh, and it is a good tradition because that is so delicious. Oh man alive, this is just heavenly. The restaurant is completely full now, and there are so many people waiting outside. I can see why this is so delicious, and I honestly think that we have to order another plate. I don't want to share this with Thomas at all. We've caught the train back into central Kolkata. Now, Kolkata is the capital of the state West Bengal in the east of India. And what we've learned since arriving in this amazing city is that Bengalis love their sweets. So there are sweet shops all over Kolkata. And that's our next stop, a famous sweet shop which does a treat called Rasgulla. Shupushanda. Is this the Rasgulla? Rasgulla? Rasgulla. Oh, do you have Rasgulla? Yeah. Can we please get 3 Rasgulla? Dhanyavad. This sweet shop has been around since 1907, and you can see in the window here they've got a number of different sweets, but the one that we're after is actually, the guys were just showing me, in the back there, the Rasgulla. So Rasgulla is made up of a cheese, curd and semolina dough, and then it is soaked in a sugar syrup. And you can see the huge pots of Rasgulla. There's like hundreds of them floating in a sugar syrup. And we've got our 3 Rasgulla here.
How pretty are the little Rasgulla. So served in this lovely little clay pottle as well, and swimming in sugar syrup. Can you see how much sugar syrup there is down there? So absolutely swimming in that from that huge tub that they came out of. And it's a really lovely little corner stall. This is very neighborhoody feeling part of Kolkata. So you've got, it just feels like a little neighborhood stall. Lots of people coming in, pulling in their motorbikes, grabbing some desserts. Let's rip into one of these. So cheese curd ball, basically covered in that sugar syrup. Whoa, can you see the syrup just squirting out as I try and grab it? I'm just gonna stab it and get the whole thing. Whoa. Whoa. It's super interesting. I think it looks like you've taken white bread, soaked it in water and made a ball out of it. But that is also kind of what it feels like in your mouth texturally. But it's quite spongy as well. So it's got a sponginess like bread, but then it's got a bounciness like cheese. And it's not as sweet as I imagine. Sometimes these desserts here in India can be crazy sweet. But this is not too crazy. I'm gonna eat this one in half. Look at that. Oh, very good. And you can see inside, it's a little bit aerated, that beautiful sweetness, and a very subtle, ooh, watch out, almost took out this guy's motorbike before now. There's a car coming. India is hectic, I love it. It's got a subtleness to it, so a subtle, cheesy sort of dairy flavor, the sweetness not too intense, beautiful presentation, really good little dessert, and just a really neat little neighborhood stall in a really lovely little quiet part of Kolkata. And look at, like, everything here is insane. These cabs, you've got the ambassador cabs, loving the city. It's a very good dessert.
We've wandered about 15 minutes from our last stop and we're coming up to our next street food, and we're here to eat a dish called Mishti. It's something that you have got to eat when you're in Kolkata. Kolkata is very famous for it. It's a fermented sweetened yogurt. This is the shop right here. It's super cute. Let's go and order. Shumpu Shanta, ek Mishti doi. Dhanyavad. Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. We heard that this shop's Mishti dough is very famous. Oh, delicious! The gentlemen have served me up my Mishti dough in this beautiful little earthenware cup. Let's just pop over here to eat it. I'm super excited because when I was ordering, I was talking to one of the ladies and she was saying that this is the place to get it in Kolkata. This shop is very famous for it. And look just how thick it is. Look at that. So it's a fermented yogurt. Whoa, look, wow. There's sort of like a layer of skin on the top and then it's super creamy in the bottom. And it's very cool to touch. So this clay vessel is ice cold almost. Let's give it a taste. Whoa, it tastes like caramel. And the top does have like a thicker skin and underneath it's very silky and creamy. It's quite sweet. Oh, that is so good. I love the light camel color of the Mishti dough. And it's a very unique flavor. You'd think being yogurt would be quite tangy, but it's not. The overwhelming flavor is one of sweetness, and sometimes they use date molasses to sweeten it, sometimes they use just brown sugar, and it's always set in earthenware, so like a bigger version of this. And what the earthenware does is that it draws the moisture out, the yogurt sets, and then it also creates the right temperature for all the cultures in the yogurt to do their thing. This is really delicious.
We've come across town a little bit further for a real icon of street food here in Kolkata. And I can just see the stand up ahead, packed with people, smoke pouring out, and the smell is unreal. But while we make our way up there, I just want to mention how great that little sweet shop was. We just loved it. We had 3 cups of it in the end because it was so good. We met some amazing people, and some locals told us that that place had been there for over 100 years, so a lot of heritage there as well. And also they bought us some other sweets, so kind of them, and they were super tasty. Here's the crowd we're after. So this is a kati roll, which is a street food you'll find all over India, but you'll particularly find it here in Kolkata because this is where it comes from. We've just grabbed our kati rolls, but this stall is really neat. It's all action, so it's very compact. As you can see, it's just a tiny little window on the footpath. Everyone's crowded up. It always seems to be about 3 or 4 deep, and it's raining at the moment, so everyone's really pushing in there to get right up to the stand, and the smell is unbelievable. So the guy in the red polo shirt up the back, he's cooking up the fillings, and he's putting it all on a big hot plate and just frying it all up together. And as those spices go on there, The smell is insane. There's another guy just out the front here freshly making the bread, rolling it out to also get fried up on that hot plate. They're just chucking more bread on there now. And then there's another guy loading all those ingredients on. As soon as they come off the hot plate, they're getting loaded onto the bread and they're super hot in my hand. It is a great buzzy little stall, but it's starting to really rain, so we're going to go up the road and find somewhere to eat these. These kati rolls look super good. So we went with the classic chicken kati roll. And without it being eaten into, there's not too much to look at. It's just a wrapped bread. But like I said, it's really neat how they're making everything fresh there at that tiny little stand. What I'm going to do, get into it, and then I'll talk you through it. Oh, this one looks really good. I can see some chicken and some onion right at the top. Mmm. Mmm. Oh. Mmm, really good flavour, a little bit more subtle than I was expecting. You come down here, you can sort of see what's going on now. So this bread, this paratha is beautiful and golden, super crispy. That was a little bit chewy actually, that bread. And then inside we've got the chicken. You can see a whole lot of onions. I think there is some capsicum in there, but oh yep, some green capsicum just hiding down there below. So all those ingredients went on that hot plate. But the chicken's the beautiful colour when you see it go on. Bright orange because it's been, wow, it's very noisy here in India. Because it's been, there's another one, because it's been spiced. And the reason it's called a kati roll is they cook that chicken, that spiced chicken, on a bamboo stick, which is called a kati. So we saw him, it had been pre-cooked on the sticks, and then he was pulling it off to reheat it on the hot plate. It's very nice, it's very subtle. But I've got to say, this dish, when we booked these tickets to India, top of my list was the kati roll because we've had these before here. They're unreal. This is a little bit more simple than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more saucy. It is a little bit dry, I must say. But there is quite a bit of oil dripping out the bottom in sauce, so maybe when we get further down, it's going to moisten up a bit. But this first mouthful, a little bit dry. Mmm. Oh. Mmm. Okay. That's better already. The paratha down here, you can actually physically see it's much thinner. So on the edge here where I had a whole lot folded over, it was just too bready. So down here it's a bit more juicy. So that chicken is very tasty with the spices, a fraction overcooked, but not crazy bad. And then the sweet onions, very sweet capsicum, all those spices. It's a really simple roll and an absolute classic here in Kolkata. Oh, it is very good. It's definitely going to do us well for dinner.